Hello everybody, Helcrux here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere episode, 372. And today we're going to be talking about the Cossack, the Inner Sphere 20-ton mech. Seems to be hovering around the periphery a lot, because when I look at it, it's a cheap mech. Designed, basically, it kind of reminds me of a commando in a way. Alright, the Cossack. 20 tons, it's a 696. It has endo steel and an XL engine. If you got an XL engine, why didn't they go pump it up to 711? At least give it some speed. 6.9 in the 3060 era is basically relegated to, let's just say, security forces and something on the periphery that's not going to be facing any advanced equipment. That's just what pops into mind here. It has 3 tons of armor for 48 points, which is like 20, I think 20 points short of maximum. Then we have some weapon systems on board. We have an SRM-6 in the center torso with a ton of ammunition in the right torso. We have small laser in the right and left torso. We have a medium laser in the left arm. And then we have jump jets in the right torso, left torso, and in the legs. Alright, so what do I think of the Cossack? Yep, it's pretty cheap. It comes in at 465 battle value, so it's, well, inexpensive. Like I said, it just screams to me this is something you're going to see on the periphery, on the outside, on your border, where you're not going to see very much action. Something that might be used to take on pirates or, any type of security type thing. When your max range on this thing is 9, basically it's going to be running around in like cities or small towns and stuff like that where show of force. Let's say it that way. By the time 3060 rolls around, mech like this is in the wrong era. Yeah, it has an XL engine, which brings it up to more modern standards, but it could have easily... I looked at this, for a half-ton more, get rid of one of those small lasers, you could pump it up to a 711.6 at least. And then or drop down that SRM4 down to an SRM4. That would save you a ton, which could pump it up and give you an extra jump jet, so you can make it a 711.7. And then that might actually be halfway decent when it comes to getting around the table. And it kind of costs you a little bit extra in battle value and expense, but why not? It's not like it's going to be using a very big engine. It's got an XL, but, when you're looking at it going up from a 120 to a 140, those are pretty small when it comes to 28-ton mech like this. So I wouldn't have a big issue going that route to begin with. Make good use of it. Make it, give it some speed or something of that nature. And... to be honest, you could easily swap out the SRM-6 in favor of, say, an LRM-5. Do a direct swap that direction, or swap out that SRM-4 for an LRM-5. Go that route. So, lots of options you can go with this thing. Sky's the limit. But we're just talking about the standard version here. Yeah. I would be looking at something like this for running around the edges. You'd probably be running in conjunction as a support mech for battle armor, maybe. Where they can go in and do just add a little bit of extra firepower, a little bit of extra range to your battle armor. A little more oomph to it. But other than that, it's like you might be helping out some vehicles or something of that nature. But you do not want this thing getting stuck into anything, because it won't last very long. Because if you got a decent pilot on the other side with a medium or heavy mech, it'd make short work of this thing, because you know the best you're ever going to get is maybe a even if you jump, you're going to get a 3 mod. If you run, that's a 3 mod. So yeah, it's pretty much a 3 mod later on in the 3060 plus era. Yeah, it's just screaming to get swatted down. All right, so that's it right there. That's the Cossack, the one version. Now there's a second version of this one. Now this one's kind of interesting in a way. This one does keep the XL, still the 6.9, but it does have light ferrofibrous armor, so you're pumping up a little bit on the armor values, just a tad more, just just a couple pips up. Then you're looking at all the weapons have been removed except for you now have 3 rocket launchers, 10s, and then a medium pulse laser. This comes in at 483 battle value. So just a tad more, about 28, was it 18 more? Yeah, 18 more battle value. And you're getting something that has 3 rocket launchers. Now, rocket launchers, don't use them myself. I believe there's like a +1 to hit, and I think there's a -1 on the cluster chart, because they're not guided at all. So it's harder to hit with them, and I think you have a minus when it comes to the number that will hit. So yeah, you still can get 10 out of them, but the odds are you probably not. Typically you're going to see 6s on an average with a 10 rack. But the good thing is that they're only half a ton. I think it's a half a ton per launcher. So yeah, you could, and they do have better ranges out to 18. It's kind of like a fire and forget system, where because they're one shot, you look at your target and it's like, oh, I'm going to fire away and just scatter it around the area and see what sticks, and you're left with a medium pulse laser, which is only 6, so you're greatly decreasing what you have, but you could probably run in conjunction, some other mechs, and it's just a little bit of extra firepower, and the odds of you hitting with it is you're probably not going to have a decent pilot on board one of these things. So it's like, hey, I'm throwing away 1.5 tons of weight and just see what sticks. A lot of it may depend on your firing solution. If you got a heavy pig on the other side that may have a 1 mod, and it's like, hey, I need 8s, you might toss it that direction. Or you may save it till you get a little closer, but there is that. So it is not one of these ones that screams, hey, I gotta take it. It's like it's a kind of a mech that can be easily forgotten. Now, like I said, I did play a little bit. Let me pull this thing up here. I did play with it. It's like, call it this version 3. Made it a 7.11.6, has a medium laser, has 4 rocket launchers, or 2 medium lasers, 1 in the center torso, 1 in the left arm. Instead of having a pulse laser, gave it 2 medium laser, just keeping the firepower up a little bit. And you can have 4 rocket launchers. And you still got the XL engine, and the armor value is 4.5 tons, so you now up to 69. So yeah, that's that version. It's like, hey, playing around to see what I can make out of this thing. Then there's the other version I was talking about, where you could pump it up to a 7.11.6 still, and you have an SRM4 in the center torso, 2 medium lasers, and a small laser. So there's that. So you still have some halfway decent firepower for when, with that version, and you got some speed with it. It does have sort of an advanced, but you're still sitting there with single heat sinks. This one had, the one I just said, it had double heat sinks, because when you pump it up to 7.11, you can give it double heat sinks is, you know, you can put enough on the engine that it leaves you some space on the mech. That's the problem with the 6.9. You can't, with Indo steel, you cannot put double heat sinks on it because it's too slow. Can't put enough on the heat sinks on the engine, so it's spread around the body, so you can't put doubles. And let's see, this version I just has 543 battle value, so that's pretty cheap. That's not bad. It's actually cheaper than the standard version, and you've got a little bit better mech. Yeah, you can go that route. So that's pretty much it when it comes to Cossack. Nothing screaming at you got to have. There's room for improvement, but I can see why they want to have a cheap, easy mech that can go out in production. If you were a mercenary unit, I could see you running around with maybe with a Cossack later on, but a lot of mercs probably don't like the idea of having the XL engines, because you know, you might want the expense of having one of those versus having a standard engine and taking a Succession Wars mech and adding a few advanced systems on board, like maybe double heat sinks and an ER weapon or something of that nature. You know, the bottom line when it comes to playing as a merc is more important than having more advanced technology. Surviving the ledger, the payroll ledger, and the ledger of keeping yourself operational. So that's it. That's the Cossack. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share with friends, and we'll see you in the next one. Elcrex out.